Hey, Catherine, it's us. Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps?
Dang, Paimon, did you have to be so direct?
Paimon's just being enthusiastic. We're old friends now, she gets it.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see.
Yes. Well, actually, no, I'm looking for Furina, and the lights went off.
Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
Oh?
Don't worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
Proper VTuber initiation? Oh my. Just tuned in after noticing the announcement. Hey, you ever played Genshin before, Rachel?
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical. The original cast member ran into some issues, and is currently unable to perform the role.
Is this the event or Furina's story? Because I was headed towards Furina's story.
So unfortunately, they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses.
Okay, so it is for Furina's story.
The job.
Well, you can always try and download the game if you want to help me out.
Left until the performance. If they
That
can't
is if
find
you're...
someone in time,
Actually,
they'll
I don't...
probably have to postpone the show.
I don't know if your download
delays
would
tend to
count
create all
necessarily
sorts of new
because you played the
problems.
game before.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas?
But I mean, if you want to start a new account or such, maybe on console or something. I don't think so. I don't think it works that way.
The commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
No. Because here's the thing. My code can only be accessed by PC and mobile players. Because how would you use my code on the PS4?
If you're interested in helping,
Or PS5.
why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he
Genshin on
hasn't
Switch
thought of.
is, that's a myth. It's not
that
coming.
guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
But considering how good the game looks, they probably couldn't get it to run very well on the Switch. Maybe with the Switch 2. Ah, that's fine, Tan, that's fine.
Paimon approves, let's go.
Genshin Anime when? Didn't they announce that last year?
Hello there, are you the guy looking for a new actress?
We want to help Furina. Hi, Lane!
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my musical?
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in,
Oops,
we'll have no
I
choice
just
but
realized
to cancel
I don't
the show.
have the activity feed
It would
on.
be such a shame.
There we go. Now I can know when people do stuff. I love having two screens.
That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts.
Really now?
All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable, things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
Okay, my mind, when I hear troop, I'm instantly thinking of Grimmaster troop from Hollow Knight, because I've recently just played that.
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah, this is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe. One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note.
Ah,
Nobody
thank you,
wants things to
Kala.
just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it.
I believe that's called PTSD. What is, Lane? Catherine mentioned that one of your actresses can't make it. Do what on Twitch?
Yeah, the leading lady, in fact. She's been dealing with a chronic illness ever since childhood, and unfortunately, it flared up again recently. It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good. I wouldn't exactly call it PTSD, because while fighting Nightmare King Grimm was a lot of fun.
The show just won't be the same.
I died a lot, but it was a lot of
everyone
fun.
else's sake,
It was a very fair
I hope we
fight.
can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Reacted to what?
Got it.
Hi,
We have a
Sarah.
clear picture now. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas. What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
That's actually funny you say the word sponsor while this
Please,
stream
there's no
is
need to go
sponsored
that
by
far.
Genshin
I
Impact.
wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor, and I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
How do we find someone who's a good fit for the role, though?
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show.
No, it's not. Paimon offer. Sponsor Paimon. Get lots of food. Me and Genshin, I can totally sponsor that.
We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... you know who?
You mean Furina?
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now. She's really good at performing.
Yeah, if
and
you
she
haven't
might
downloaded
super
Genshin
popular
Impact
with the crowd.
before,
Performing music
use,
is a piece of cake for
use
her.
my code and download the game.
Who
It's
are
a
you
lot of
thinking
fun.
Sounds like someone famous.
Like, legit, the game is a lot of fun. And no, you don't need to spend money in order to beat the game.
Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
Huh?
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. They were one of the reasons she was so popular.
Yeah, I can definitely see Furina being an actor on a show. Am I skipping Navia? Yes, because I'm still waiting for Arlecchino.
But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner.
Oh, good. She's still being treated with the respect she deserves.
She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
Are you prepared to do whatever it takes, though?
Well, yes, but... Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show.
You got a goal
sure
in
the
this
rest of the
game?
troupe would be
What's the
delighted
goal,
too.
Ton?
I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day. Of course, it all depends on whether she's interested. She might consider this opportunity beneath her.
Maybe.
What's stressing about that? We'll only know if we ask her.
It's good to see that she's still treated with, respect after she was, discovered to not be the proper Archon.
Besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her to
Well,
be
at least
all
as far as the
high and
public
mighty anymore.
knows.
Thank you for your help. I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the good news. Good luck.
Easy. Every Claymore female user I will get. There aren't that many female Claymore users,
Wait,
I
where
think.
does Furina actually live nowadays? She used
Oh,
to
wait,
live in
Dia's
the
one of
luxury
them.
the Palais Mermonia, but she's, moved out, right?
I said yes, I'm skipping, Navia because I need to save for Arlecchino.
As it happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
And even before that, I'm going to be rolling on Yoimiya's banner. because Raiden Shogun's going to be on Raid Up, and if she's on Raid Up, most likely Kujo Sara will be on Raid Up alongside the new character. So it's quite the valuable banner if I can just get one more Kujo Sara.
Woo! When did you get here?
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my assistance is needed.
She just straight up handed Furina's docs. Wow.
It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Woo! Now that we've got the address, we'll go find Furina. Back in a jiffy. Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here?
What's wrong with here, Paimon?
Not that there's anything wrong with this place. It's just, a bit of a step down from the Palais Marmonia.
No I did not, Shima.
You know,
I've been kind of
it's common
focusing-
courtesy
Ooh.
to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Hi, Furina! I'm so happy I have you C2. Send it to my Discord and I'll look at it later.
Ah! Okay, when did popping out of thin air become all the rage? First Catherine...
Batman does it.
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags.
Oh, she likes macaroni. Very based. Macaroni and cheese is very good.
I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
Don't you get sick of macaroni every day? As someone who eats beef and broccoli Asian food for my lunch every day, no you don't.
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
I like that. A sauce can make the difference in food. Furina, I'm making mac and cheese and no one can stop me.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
Is it because you have to do all your own cooking now?
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity! It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too.
Well, you can still do better than the Raiden Shogun. You get to eat tasty Asian food? It's called stuff I just pick up at the store and just put in the microwave for 5 minutes.
Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre focilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
I don't know what that is. I wonder what it looks like. A can make tea, but sucks we can't use that ability.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here?
You can make
I
something
do
that's
hope
still
you
better
didn't
than
come here
Raiden
just
Shogun.
to ogle at my fall from grace.
No, we didn't come here for that at all.
Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoot!
We're not here for that at all, Furina. Quite the opposite. I do feel bad for Furina in that she has such a drastic change. But let's face it, she can't be worse than A. I mean, A was socially isolated for 500 years, give or take.
Sorry, we're sorry. Please don't be mad.
We were just showing concern for your well-being, Furina.
Yeah, exactly. What the traveler said. Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you. Hang on a sec. You weren't exactly holding back either.
That's not important, Paimon.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
Don't worry. It's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
If not you, then no one else could fit the job.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now.
Wow, that Fontaine music popping in right when Furina's mood popped up was really good.
So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific?
Well, we want you to perform.
I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense.
Aw, she's so insecure. But we'll help fix that, Furina. You gotten better at cooking? I'm still bad at cooking.
After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is well within my capabilities.
I like hearing her happy.
Given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
Why?
How come? It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage.
Why?
Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was.
She needs all the hugs.
Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again.
Yeah. I don't think you would even want to in the first place.
But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
So that's how you really feel.
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place.
Not entirely.
So I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point, okay.
Oh, this ain't looking good for the troupe.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Ow! I felt that! As someone who worked in retail and has a number of issues, I don't just feel that, I taste that!
Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help.
But you still shouldn't assume the worst of people.
True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Ooh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Wait, give me a sec to read this. You wouldn't be begging and groveling just to perform?
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really needs a lot of
Context
the
for
kind
what
of work
I
and
said,
effort.
or Furina's story?
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I
Oh my
thought
gosh, I
had the
adore her
answer
so
to this
much.
problem, I would have said so by now.
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Context for Furina? In order to save the people of Fontaine, she was basically a human that was given a task of performing the role of being the Hydro Archon for over 500 years. And she was told that if anyone ever discovers her secret, that basically all the people in Fontaine will die. And only the Hydro Archon, aka Furina, will be left to weep on her throne. So she had to put on an act consistently for over 500 years, never letting people see who she really was.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. Alright then, we'll see you around, Furina!
Yep.
Toodaloo to you too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
When it comes to Furina as well, one thing she was told is that her act will end with the most grandest of all trials. So that's why in her Fontaine dialogue, she's always saying she's waiting for the grandest of trials because it means the end of her acting and suffering. Yeah, it's why she acts so high and mighty. She literally acts high and mighty, not only to fool the people, but fool herself.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision. Maybe the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now.
I mean, she was performing for over 500 years, so I can definitely understand that.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
Ooh, that's awkward.
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
Yeah, this dialogue sounds familiar.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
Very understandable reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all.
Anyone else have a feeling he said that too quick?
You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Imagine if we had managed to convince Furina to join, only for her to find out she's no longer needed.
Yeah,
Ouch.
she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Only
not
joking.
entirely.
Calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you.
So you better be honest.
So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day.
I have a very bad feeling that this new medication
I share
is going to be
everyone's
very
desire
bad
to
on her
commemorate all our
later.
years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Paimon, wait here a second.
Sure.
Ooh, Furina was watching.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot.
Oh my gosh, you're adorable!
Alright, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned. That's all.
Oh my gosh, she just can't help but put on the tsundere act.
When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit...
Quite literally caught in 4K, because I'm playing the game at 4K.
I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
So why didn't you show yourself then?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you?
Someone should clip that. They should absolutely clip that. Someone clip that on Twitch right now.
I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me.
Yep, caught in 4K.
But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as Lady. Just Furina is fine.
She's so modest.
I was wondering...
And the lights went
If
out.
this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance.
Yeah, you're right. That's a pretty smart idea, Furina.
Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Ah, so that's what it is. That makes sense. Yeah, that checks out. Let's see, how would I... Yep, no way to do that.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in the serial disappearances case.
Oh.
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater.
Oh, wow.
She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that's why things are so rough.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. And none of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart.
Dang.
It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Ooh, I bet Furina has something to say on that.
Oh.
That's so sad, though.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes,
She's
exactly.
so understanding.
We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the Traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway. I can, however, provide some
Hi,
artistic
Noir.
guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
One problem, Noir. I don't know where any of Furina's Ascension stuff is.
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high.
Nope,
The
I haven't
law
fully
only
ascended
judges
her.
criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
A verdict can bring emotional catharsis.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh?
Paimon, that's rude!
You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
Paimon, I'ma smack you.
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Especially since it's related to the serial disappearance cases. Since it's you, I'll definitely do it.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
And I sometimes wish that Twitch automatically had quality choices for everyone, but... City, but this feels fancy.
Huh? Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant.
The Little Oceanid. Oh wow, that probably already strikes a chord with
These
her.
two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
You bet! That was the trial of the century! You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying the Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
My little Oceanid can't be this cute. Ha! Finding an actress was the least of your problems.
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all about. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family. She longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect.
But
one day, her true identity was exposed, and her world came crashing down around her.
So far, so good. A classic tale. What happened after that?
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which...
yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Lane. This is kind of just Furina's story.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah. Like they say, truth is stranger than fiction.
Probably be better
But
if you went
then
for a
there's
happy
the question
ending.
of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just
I see
hoping for some light
Paimon right
entertainment.
above me.
We have to consider their
Hi,
emotional stake in
Paimon.
this, not just our own. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write
Wow,
to us,
wonder where he is.
promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since.
Yep, remember
So
to type...
we're not really sure what to make of
Remember
that.
to type exclamation Genshin. If you want to play the game, use my code, and you'll help me be able to keep these streams going. Oh, and also Genshin Gift as well. You can type in Genshin Gift in your code section in the game, and you get some Primo Gems.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity? What do you mean?
So if you want to help
Maybe you're
out
unaware.
your lovely
Your name
Empress,
has always been like a rallying cry for us.
then download the game using my code you see in the chat. And if you don't see the code, just type in exclamation Genshin.
Our director was constantly singing your praises.
Oh, and again, make sure
All of us
to
look up to you as a role model.
make sure to have VPN and ad blockers off when you do it, or it won't count.
Oh, stop! You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way.
You deserve all the praise, Furina.
I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson.
Ooh. Yeah, that's still a sensitive subject for her.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. Tout passons!
Allons-y? Huh. First I've heard of that. And just like that, we now no longer need to do daily commission. But actually first, is there anything here of value?
You're off to Poisson to find Paulo, right? Have a safe trip. We'll take care of the troop while you're gone.
Pressure's on now. We gotta make sure we're fully prepared.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Alright. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
Maybe you should mention Furina's here?
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they'd just seen
Oh.
you in Poisson.
Hi,
I assumed it
Navia.
was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too.
I like how Navia's eyes are wide open, just being like, oh, the previous Hydro Archon right here. Christmas shenanigans, I understand that. Kingmaker and my crossover project called Persimmon. Catching up to... Huh. It doesn't lag on your phone with the app? Really? Interesting.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So you're here for
So
power?
maybe it's not an issue of
Looks like
internet
you could
so
be
much
well,
as
so feel free
the
to
device?
take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
Oblivious enough that not even I noticed that they were trying to give him some one-on-one time.
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
You talking about yourself there, Navia?
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
A crossover Persona and Pokemon to celebrate 25 years of the world of Pokemon discovered in the West.
Please.
Sounds like quite the
Must our
project.
conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done.
Yeah,
Which
it
brings
just
me
takes
to
time
why
to
I'm
heal.
here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
Oof.
To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina.
Wow.
It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me.
Well, it's a band-aid on the problem.
Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Thanks, Navia.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Aww. What about New Valette? Ooh.
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her. It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around the obstacles without facing them.
No, you really can't.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
I think you can tell some people didn't buy Navia's lie.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful.
Damn, that is a look of pure hatred there.
I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Yeah, it's not like you exactly.
What do you mean by that? You expected me to just keep running and hiding from my responsibility forever?
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're not staying
Probably
quiet
time we
either.
made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
Yeah, that should be a good spot.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
No. I'm more than happy to help relieve the mental torture you're going through, Furina. We are gaslighting a woman with PTSD into working in a profession that causes her to have flashbacks of being an immortal cursed soul. But Paimon really needs those 60 Prima Gems. Ooh.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Paimon means well, but Paimon can definitely be a little rude at times.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet.
Aww, we won't.
I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant.
Yeah.
They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true.
I mean, you did what you had to, Furina. And if you hadn't, then a lot worse could have happened.
But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at like that. You were only doing your duty.
Don't be so harsh on yourself, Furina.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated.
Damn, Furina, you're gonna make me cry.
Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom.
She needs so many hugs.
But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Think of your freedom as your reward.
A reward?
Because now you can finally speak your heart.
I guess so. And back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know.
And here come the waterworks. Oh, Furina. Wrong one. Oh, Furina.
That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
Yeah, that had a lot deeper meaning than I thought.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
Really, Paimon? Really?
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
Thank you, Furina! What Paimon meant to say was, she doesn't like to see you so down, even though that's what people need to do. You are really bad at understanding people at times, Paimon. Yes! Yes, Lane! You can punch the emergency food.
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands.
Sorry for the ads. It can't be helped. Unless someone wants to gift sub Rachel.
Alright, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Gurnir. What?
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Ads are done. What'd you miss? You basically just missed, Furina just being like, seriously, Paimon? Furina and Nahida need to be in a room and just give therapy to each other.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass
Traveler,
free
Paimon
food.
cares about you and wants you to succeed.
Anyway, My character doesn't need to be slim and good looking. That's your job.
I mean, to be a little fair to Paimon, it's not like she's saying things out of malicious intent.
Are you kidding me right
But
now?
still,
it's not your
she should
character's
take a
health I'm
hint.
worried about. It's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back.
Based
We've
NPC.
been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Hey, congrats on getting Tamamo Cat, Trev.
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well,
Damn!
at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Damn, no wonder she was mad at him. Literally. There are consequences to those actions.
Sorry.
I have to join Paimon in that. That is kind of funny.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Plus, that is relatable because I'm a big eater at heart. Just make sure you're healthy. Again, this is basically just Furina's story.
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore.
What?
I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage
Yeah.
my illness with various
What?
medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a
Aren't-
time.
Aren't they your family, though? I would think it would be the opposite, and they would just try to shelter you.
It was like that until the director found
no,
me
I'm
one
not
day.
planning on pulling on
She told me I
Navia.
had a great
I'm saving
voice
for
and asked if I was
Arlecchino.
interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She does.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage.
The child of a murderer?
The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. I thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Furina, really good at understanding people despite having to isolate herself in her mind, basically, for 500 years as putting on an act.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant.
Hi,
Miss Furina.
Toka! Hey, Toka! Have you ever downloaded Genshin? I can't remember if you have or haven't.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god.
She's
How did
literally
you manage
right
to remember
there.
That?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I?
You were going to submit your script?
Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human, against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic.
This is really good art.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it, and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
Huh.
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret.
Oh boy.
The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover, and the rest of humanity.
Reminds me of the water as memory thing from Frozen 2. Yeah, it does kind of sound familiar.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible.
Oh, and this is where the debate starts.
What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
I'm sorry, what?
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
Yeah, I was about to say! That is, I'm sorry, run that by me again? She wanted, she basically was like, nah, the ending should be that, they decide to do nothing about it. They live happily ever after, but humanity dies.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't do it.
On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
The director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a
Sleep well,
so-called
Kala.
experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Vilmon might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Wait a sec. Let me see something. Did that just update? No, it did not. Alright, back to it.
Vilmon? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah, we still haven't seen them.
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aurelie.
Oh.
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she'd never considered us as potential romantic partners.
Family zoned?
Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Oh, Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by Aurelie. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Vilmon once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
I feel like Lane can relate to this statement very closely.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Vilmon.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y!
Allons-y. What exactly does that mean?
Ugh, as if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour.
No joke, even Doctor, who acknowledges that subtle teaching of the French language.
Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
Maybe.
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a fight before.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into Indemnitium. Miss Furina said so herself.
Furina is just like, oh my gosh, they still buy that.
Precisely! And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like
I love how smug the
damsel
Traveler
in
is right
distress
here.
more than anything.
it so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day.
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Furina.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
C'est la vie, my ass.
Stabilize.
I see everything.
Right here, right now. Emerge.
Silence. This is order.
Oh, I'll just use Nouvellette to clean up the trash.
Right here, right now. Emerge. Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Of course I do.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
And then we
So-
explained everything.
You think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us.
So what really
We're
happened
supposed
to
to
her
be a
then?
unit when we're on stage.
Viamont, avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Viamont. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show.
That's a lot of devotion.
The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one.
Ouch.
As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire.
So, what did she do? Oh yeah, thank you, bot. Create a new player, reach adventure rank 6, and complete the License to Glide quest to support the stream. That would be
So-
me.
Anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances.
Oh no, don't tell me it was primordial seawater.
It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Primordial seawater.
Isn't that the drink paddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
It causes a state of euphoria, but it also causes significant harm to the body.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
Shit.
And then,
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
Your mistake gave them a motive to kidnap and murder her.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew
Ooh,
Aurelie was in
boy.
danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean? You were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Was there really anything you could do against people like that? You all would have died, to be fair.
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now?
Yeah, exactly, Rachel. Either she died alone, or everyone would have died with her.
I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Whoa.
Get out of my sight. Go, get lost. I don't ever want to see your face again.
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you!
I was just wondering how long Furina would keep quiet on this.
Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
Ooh.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe.
Lamont did what was smart, but that doesn't make him a total fool if he thought about the troupe's survival over Aurale's gambit.
What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
So think hard
And that's why
about what
you're a
that
hero,
means.
Furina.
And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again.
Aww.
If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
Sometimes that's what happens when you take your apology too far.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
It might actually be possible to find out more about her fate.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims. If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good news.
Oh, you were getting no reception,
You want to
Toka?
review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for quite a while now. Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have someone dig them out.
So, Toka, have you ever played
So,
Genshin?
This is all Aurelie left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. Let's see.
Yep, the link is right there. Use my link in the chat, and you can help support the streamer you see right here.
Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions.
Oh.
She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt.
Vacher took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
At least he got his comeuppance.
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off.
Is something wrong?
Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left.
Oh, damn.
Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
Someone else was taken. That means 6. Or perhaps the 7th. Someone tried to escape yesterday but was caught. She hasn't been seen since. Was that yesterday? Maybe not. I've long since lost track of time. Sorry, I don't know if this writing is of any use, or how much longer I can do it for. I can already see my fate approaching. But what terrifies me even more is the thought of seeing others from the troop here. Have I truly protected them? Sorry. I'm so sorry. I can write no more. I think I have a fever, and my old stomach troubles have returned. But nobody has given me any medicine. I suppose I am more fortunate than Circe. The pain keeps her awake all night. I suppose that they think that anything goes as long as the experimental subjects can be used up before they die. It's so damp here. I have given her my blanket. So cold, so cold, so cold. As long as one persists, all things will pass. There will be a reward for hard work. I like to tell them such things, but it is I who am losing my grip. If anyone sees this, troops safe, I, them important, please, farewell, apologize, life, perform, future, regret, Cleo. From this page onwards, the diary stopped, to be replaced with lyrics from musicals. Some are in the form of newspaper clippings, others are handwritten with many crossed out changes. It is apparent that the pages have been referenced often, and that this was the personal notebook of artistic director O'Reilly. Damn.
She was so terrified.
She watched a girl get dissolved right in front of her, and had to wait for her own death in silence.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only human. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying.
Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
One page has been torn out, folded up, and placed next to the last blank page. At the bottom of the folded note are 2 new lines Aurelie has written, in handwriting much more legible than before, but it seems that they took her both great effort and a great deal of time to write. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want? Because I am an older sister to them. I love them.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision, even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come.
She kept just thinking about the troop.
I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love, and she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director O'Reilly's final thoughts.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
Yep.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary.
Aw, Lane.
Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance, to make this a show worthy of our director. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director Aurelie and her alone.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing.
It's that the more passion you have, the more grand it will be.
If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotion into your performance. And aren't human emotions love, hate, regret, and hope just the most mesmerizing things in this world? I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Furina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal.
Oh?
During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine?
No, that's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Go big or go home.
I have no problem with it then. How about the rest of you? I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on, we'll need to get the go-ahead from Nerilette. I know just where to find him. I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, Traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event. You see...
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult.
He's like, I can book it.
The story of the Little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
Huh? What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and... well, here we are.
Yeah, Lane, I guess you can see now why people love Furina so much.
In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life.
Aww.
Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of the protagonist, Cleo, are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role.
Ooh.
It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
I like how even Nouvellette knows she's an amazing actor.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions.
Yep, he realized it was similar too.
Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not.
I'm glad to see you being happy regardless of what you do.
I
Yeah,
sincerely
Nouvellette
hope
is
the
an
show will
amazing
serve as the
character.
grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nouvellette.
You are very welcome.
Such a nice guy.
Many people were once enthralled by Lady Furina's performances, myself included. I hope that one day she'll be able to understand that our appreciation was always sincere.
Ah, Nouvellette, I'm so happy I rolled for you. I almost didn't, but I saw Nouvellette's gameplay, and I'm just like, you know what? I want to play that. And then I did Fontaine's story, and I'm like, damn, Nouvellette's one of my favorite characters now.
Good news, everyone. It's done. The Opera Epiclese is booked. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Nouvellette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Now, let's work together and make this show the best it can be.
I'm having a Rice Krispie.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's great!
Oh, communication is vital to any good performance.
Ah, glad to see the troupe getting along better.
Look at us. We've come so far. I never could have pictured this scene a few days ago.
It's amazing. Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all, she's really fired everyone up.
How is she in any way being a drama queen right now? She's not being a drama queen. The closest thing to drama she's done is act up how excited she is for the performance.
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic, get over here. Time to practice the opening number.
Furina really does have it out as being a good director. You know, you really should be more sensitive to people, Paimon.
She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage! If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time. If only...
You okay, Furina?
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage!
Why? Why does it have to be now?
Her sickness is
what's going
acting
on?
up.
You're due on stage any second now. Oh no, not again. But why? What about your new meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my dose.
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
I figured whatever it took to get me through this final performance.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my health.
I'm sorry. I've let everyone down.
You... This is a conversation for another time. How can the
Furina,
show go on
time
without
for
its
you
star
to
performer?
step up.
Miss Furina, I'd like to make a request of you.
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice register could take it. Why?
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale.
Ooh, we're gonna hear Furina sing?
From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets, myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is dedicated to the life and legacy of our director. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
It's her pure heart.
Oh.
Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
Same as you, Furina.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
Oh boy. Oh, we're getting a CG for sure.
Is she here yet? Will she get here?
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
Whoa, this is animated beautifully.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il
Wow.
pardonneras-tu aux chères mères? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies et la cité elle nourrit ainsi que toi mon doux
Oh, this is beautiful. Both the voice and
But what about your
imagery.
wish?
My
wish.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
I am tearing up. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Furina gets her vision. Well, that's definitely getting uploaded as a highlight for sure. Damn, that was beautiful.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now? She hasn't been seen for a while now. And she just appears out
Oh
of
my
nowhere.
gosh, I can literally feel the tears running down my face.
Gotta say though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
Yeah, I could tell it looked different. That Furina's vision looks different from any other vision we've seen.
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. What's going on?
I don't know, maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice. Still, I have to admit that, despite everything, it felt good to be back on the stage again.
So when people used to throw flowers in celebration of an amazing performance to show a good job, Nouvelette threw a vision.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Furina.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on.
Yeah, you deserve your credit, Furina.
Oh, so it was Furina after all. She's back.
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm down, don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis. I wasn't ready for this yet.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
Don't jinx it, Paimon. At most, you might be asked to sign a few autographs later.
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
So the internet on Twitch shit on me, so I looked up the music video on YouTube. Waterworks is an understatement. Yep, that's what just happened to me. And I'm gonna say it right now, if you enjoy emotional stories and good characters, that's why you should download Genshin Impact. It's why I still play this game. Because gosh darn it, the adventuring is fun, but man, the writing is so good. So, do we know if Furina's English voice actor sung those French lyrics, or if it was someone else.
This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack.
Someone else did it?
I went over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
I love how it says a real one popped out of thin air, and then the scenery lighting changed.
Oh, that. I've got no idea what happened there either. But hey, it worked pretty well, didn't it?
I better see Nuvalette
That
just
the
staring
audience
off
has
in the
never
distance
seen
or
such
something.
A realistic prop.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how she's doing.
Oh, let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished what we set out to do.
Ah, you're back.
That's just how you
She's
open
doing
doors
okay.
in France, I guess.
Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the audience like it?
Look, my tears hadn't dried yet, alright? I count it.
To know it was fantastic!
Hell, I can still feel some of the...
Furina was
some
on
of
the
them.
stage. You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first thing tomorrow morning.
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
Oh, don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though
You're
you
welcome
couldn't
for the
sit through
30
to
primo,
final
Shima.
scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show.
Well, one way or another, we did it. I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we went out on a high note. That's all that matters.
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
Damn, that's relatable.
Oh, don't you start. I don't have the energy to argue with you right now.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about each other.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah, great, they're gonna act
You mean we
tsundere.
never stop arguing with each other?
So they're gonna bang, right?
So, any plans for the next step? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to disband if you don't want to. You could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceanid to the bigger theater troupes out there. That would do wonders for your financial situation.
Mac and cheese date with Furina? When? That would actually be pretty fun.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's what we all agreed to.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. But maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Hey, don't just walk off!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musicals.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but I don't know if my health will allow me to.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well. What about you, Miss Furina? Any future plans?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go, until I finally acquiesce.
You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that perhaps I'm not as averse to a return to the stage as I previously imagined. Maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me after all.
There's no need to draw lines in the sand.
Yeah. There was once a time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch the lives of others around them. I want to watch them blossom and wither, see them refined on the page, retold on the stage, and remembered long into the future. I'm sure this is what captivated director O'Reilly as well.
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Next time, invite me to join you. Oh, wait, no. I'll invite you to join me is what I meant.
Then it's a deal. If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best to honor it.
Will that be like, actually, it's a vision from me.
It's ironic to think that in my whole time as a god, I could only ever dream of receiving this kind of power. And now that the gods have given me their blessing, it actually feels more like I'm finally able to take my fate in my own hands. Is that how humans feel about it as well?
I would say so.